All right, everyone, we are live for the Fun Show judging, both Fun Show and Showmanship. We're going to be going through all of the results today. I'll make it pretty quick. I'm outside. It's gorgeous outside. So, yeah, we'll start really quick with all of our awards and sponsors. For our best high school showman, we have Bright Marvel Farm. For our best junior, we've got Stella's Farm. And for our overall best in show, we've got Savage Daughter Farm sponsoring for our showmanship. And then Savage Daughter Farm, I believe, let me double check, also sponsored our awards. We originally had one award for the Fun Show with everything going on and the voting. We ended up putting 2 awards. So there'll be both an award for the best chicken and then best any other, because they had 2 different voting periods. So to make it fair, we decided that's how we were going to do it. So I also want to give a quick shout out to Fowl Creations. So they did all of our apparel. If you ordered shirts, sweatshirts, they should be coming. Go ahead. I've got the link up on the website, link up in the Facebook as well. Just fantastic all-around guy, has helped us so much with the show, and a portion of that goes to funding awards for next year. The other thing is Champions Blend. They donated feed for all of the birds, the top 2 birds of each show. So our open bantam, our youth bantam, open large fowl, youth large fowl, things like that. For everyone watching, we also did find our open large fowl judge. I want to give a huge shout out to Brian Carricker, who was willing to jump in and judge if we needed one and we couldn't find an APA judge. I had reached out to him and he was more than willing. We were able to get Bart Pals, so we will still have an APA judge, but I really, really appreciate Brian being able to step in with that if we had needed it. So we'll start off the bat with our Fun Show. We've got 122 birds that were entered overall. This one was kind of our anything goes. So we didn't have a whole lot of restrictions. You could edit the photo. You can change the backgrounds here. We were pretty open. If it's something you couldn't have entered in the regular show, throw it in the Fun Show. We had people enter the same birds they entered in the regular show. That was completely fine. And because we had said it was kind of an anything goes open vote, we weren't super worried about it. So yeah. And then for our showmanship, we had 12 exhibitors sign up. We had 10 end up competing overall. We'll be giving feed to the top 2. And yeah, it was a pretty good day. We're working on getting next year. I'm looking at probably 3 showmanship judges, 3 or 4, one for each category. So hopefully we'll be able to get like 30 to 40 showmen in there. I know there's a lot of you that had wanted to but didn't have the opportunity. So without further ado, I'll go to the Fun Show voting. We had a ton of birds and pictures entered, which is just kind of really cool. So I want to go through some of the pictures quick. I realize you can't see my screen. I'll fix that. There we go. So what we're looking at doing next year is we'll separate out into categories from the get-go. And you'll just be able to upload your pictures straight to the website. So it'll kind of take everything out in the middleman there. You can see some of the great photos, great photography, people, kids, all of that were completely allowed in these. Like I said, editing is fine. We weren't too picky. It was kind of an anything goes, just for the heck of it, have some fun, show some pretty birds. Yeah. So just want to showcase really quick some of the pictures with the and then I'll scroll up to top and we'll see who the winners of each category are. And voting was open from as soon as it was posted and working in the case of the chicken ones up until now. So yeah, and we got a remarkable like 20,000 about people coming on here to look at that. So a lot of people seeing all of these birds and having a whole bunch of fun with it, which is just kind of awesome. We'll start with the bottom and work our way up. Any other fowl is going to be this turkey right here. I can go ahead and find the winners for that. Our favorite waterfowl is going to be the pilgrim goose there up top. And I'll get exhibitor names and numbers posted after that. Some of these were pretty close all the way down to that very end. I looked this morning and some of them were just a few hundred votes off, and they've been getting votes in by the thousands. So Pinto Bean was the pretty definite winner for the favorite young bird. And Susie was the favorite young hen. And then we have Liability Billy the Fuggle. Or Funkle, I don't know. But that was our favorite rooster. And then overall, Liability Billy took the top chicken award. And then our favorite, our best non-other was Pinto Bean right here. So I'll grab, American Buff Goose. Thanks for correcting it. I'm pretty sure that's your bird, Mr. Lee, as well. Could be wrong. But it was the American Buff Goose. Let me double check that I've got that. Instead, not a pilgrim goose that won the waterfowl. And Pinto Bean won overall young bird. So from there, we'll go really quick into our showmanship. And this is what it looked like for anyone. I was curious. I'll still keep the votes on there. I'm not going to turn off voting, mainly because I want to be able everyone to see all of the birds that were there. And if you turn off voting, you usually have to remove the poll. So that'll still stay up there, but it's no longer live. So, and then for showmanship, we had our different age categories. So we had our best junior. That was kind of our 2 entries originally, 1 scratch. So we had 1 overall entry. We had our best intermediate. So that was 9 through 13-year-olds. And then we had our best high school, which is 14 to 17. And then best adult, which is 18 plus. We had a few adults in there. That was really fun. It was their first time showing. So first time doing showmanship, not showing in particular. It was a little interesting with it being virtual. So I do have recordings of most of them. I don't know if I have the recording of the overall showmen, but most of them I was able to get recorded, and I will be posting up on YouTube. I'm just going to call them showmanship episodes. And so for anyone looking for showmanship references or things like that, wants to know how to prepare, go ahead and watch those. Those will be up hopefully within the next couple of days. I'm also working on getting little clips and shorts and snippets in there from just different tidbits, fun facts, placings in the virtual show. So in showmanship, our order, we're going to start with the adults and we'll work our way on down. So our second place adult scoring 34 out of 100 points. The adult category was by far the hardest. I was working with Jada. Jada made all the questions for it, and we had no clue who was all going to exhibit. So we didn't know if they had shown before, if they hadn't, if it was first time. So we're like, okay, there are some really, really knockdown, amazing showmen. So we're going to make the questions pretty hard. And so for all of the 2 adults that entered, you guys did fantastic. For being your first time, having some really tough questions thrown at you. Don't get too up and twisted about your score. You can see some of the scores completely vary. Not a perfect score overall. So starting our second place adults, 34 points out of 100 was Kathy Kershaw. 40 out of 100 first adult was Kasia Kusik. So congratulations to both of you guys. I will be sending scorecards if I didn't already. So you will be able to see your scorecard, and then I'll have the videos up on YouTube again for anyone to watch. Our junior, our one and only junior, scored a whole 57 out of 100. So they did have some easier questions in junior. They're tailored a little bit more towards the younger kids, but just overall, absolutely fantastic job with Addison Anderson. Going into our high school, our second overall high school, I'm jumping around a little bit, but I've just got my sheet set up kind of weirdly. But our second overall high school with 72 points was Garrett Hall. Our first overall high school, so the class champion, was Tiffany Kusick with 76 points. And then jumping to the intermediate, this was our biggest class by far. We only had 4 entries in there. So again, we were limited mainly on our judge just because we have one judge and each showmanship run takes anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast everyone's going through. So starting from the bottom and working our way up. Our 4th intermediate showman with 36 points. I believe it's Leroy Kershaw in the intermediate category. Our 3rd intermediate number with 45 points was Lucas Kusick. Our 2nd intermediate with 72 points. I didn't put their first name down, but M. Kusick. And then our first overall intermediate with 81 points was Delaney Haggard. So then going from the bottom up, we had a tie for 3rd place between our intermediate and our high school, for 3rd place overall showman between Garrett Hall and M. Kusick. Because Garrett Hall had some harder questions, they got 3rd place showman, but they both tied for points. And then our reserve overall showman and champion high school showman was Tiffany Kusick with 76 points. She did a fantastic job. And our first champion overall showman from the adults, from the high school, intermediate, and juniors was Delaney Haggard with 81 points. So congratulations, everyone. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got. Keep an eye out for that open large fowl. Go ahead, show up to that show. That should be very informative, very, very fun. Lots of information going out there. And then I've got more genetics things that I'll be posting in the next couple of days. I'm hoping to get some YouTube videos put together about chickens and genetics and all of that fun stuff. But that's what I've been working on in the meantime. So until then, I'll see ya.